Hey guys, welcome to Breaking Feud, and in this video this will be a spoiler talk on Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania, aka Antman 3. So let's get started. So this is a spoiler talk video, so yeah, I would just be jumping around certain areas, so yeah. Honestly, it was kind of boring. I think the most interesting part was the end credit scene with Loki, and yeah, with Loki, it was a teaser trailer in a sense where Loki season 2, showing Loki and Kang in the same scene. So yeah. I'm right now currently reading the IMDb, and this is the 31st Marvel movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I still feel like I understand in terms of like comic perspective and whatnot, like you can never end the story, like, but the thing is, comic books and movies are two separate entities, right? Because at least the way I see it is, even in comic book, the whole comic book universe, there's still a story, like one single story that they try to tell, and they break it down, right? Kind of like the MCU, but there's an end to it, and each comic there's always a beginning, middle, and end, like a good actual storytelling. They don't leave. It's not like the movies where they always just constantly tease, like set up and tease for the next movie. This kind of feels like a tease just for future movies, and it was just a setup for other movies to have Kang in them. At least, I guess it's because I guess for me, it's because I know Phase 1 didn't really heavily focus on, the stones, but they kind of set it up when, the Avengers, the first Avengers film, and Captain America, and kind of the whole, shtick and Thor, and they kind of teased the cube and whatnot, and Iron Man 2, so yeah. The way I see it, there's a really good video. I'm gonna link it down below by Christopher Nolan did an interview where he does say he doesn't like these movie setups. Well, he didn't say it, but it's like he puts everything into one basket and just tries to tell a good story, doesn't leave the rest for like a next film. He just does a film, writes a story from beginning to end, and that's what I kind of love about like films like the Dark Knight trilogy. The first film had a story, didn't lead to the second one. The second one, you didn't really have to see the first one. It was a thing where you can watch it and still enjoy it, and it was a film that can be watched by itself without knowing that there was a previous movie or next movie after that. Dark Knight Rises, obviously, there is a thing where like it kind of talks about the previous movies, like Harvey Dent's death in the second film, and the whole Ra's al Ghul situation in the first movie, but you really don't need to, watch it. And I would also, using this example, Logan, you really didn't need to watch any X-Men movies or any previous Wolverine movies within that whole universe to understand Logan. It was a movie where, yes, obviously we've all watched all the X-Men movies in the past, so the build-up to Logan kind of helps out, but watching it by itself as a movie in terms of storytelling, amazing. And I would also, using this example, Logan, you really didn't need to watch any X-Men movies or any previous Wolverine movies within that whole universe to understand Logan. It was a movie where, yes, obviously we've all watched all the X-Men movies in the past, so the build up to Logan kind of helps out, but watching it by itself as a movie in terms of storytelling, amazing. The casting is well done. Obviously, in my normal spoiler-free review, I did talk about the recasting of Cassie. So she was played by someone else. Pull it up. She was played by Emma Furman in the Avengers Endgame, and then obviously played by Catherine Newton. But someone brought this up, and I think it's a really valid point. How does she go from like a 5-6-year-old kid? And remember, this is a time jump from. So the last time we see Cassie was in Antman 2, which took place like the end credit scene of that. The whole event takes. The end credit scene is part of the movie. It's one like couple days, and it was a couple day thing within 1 week, and she was 6 or something around that time frame. You gotta remember, and the end credit scene legit takes place the exact moment when the snap happened. So in the end credit scene and in Infinity War, we see the snap happen. Everyone gets disappeared in both the end credit scene of Antman and the Wasp, Antman 2, and Infinity War. And then in Endgame, they do like the 5-year jump. So she would have been like 10, like 12, 13 years old. And they have actually kept the original actress who played her in Ant-Man 1 and 2. And the age gap, she's a young adult in this, which honestly doesn't make sense. Yeah. The continuity is just all over the place, let's be honest. So yeah. I just realized this, ever since after Endgame, all the content from Phase 4 till now, this is the first film in first project in Phase 5, the continuity is all over the place and it's really confusing. It's kind of like the DCU from Marvel, but at least it's not as confusing as the DCU. So yeah. Apparently this is yeah. So the Spider-Man trilogy in the MCU was the first time a director did 3 movies. Cause let's be honest, the Avengers series, we had Joss Whedon doing the first 2, and what's their name? The Russo Bros doing Infinity War and Endgame, and then we had obviously Jon Favreau doing Iron Man 1 and 2, but didn't do Iron Man 3. Same goes with Thor, but Thor had Taika Waititi doing 3 and 4. Yeah, so 4 films. Captain America, originally it was Joe Johnston doing the first movie, and then the Russo Bros doing 3 and 4. I mean 2 and 3. So yeah, this, and then yeah, no. So this was the second time a director did all 3, like a whole trilogy. So first was Spider-Man, second is now this Ant-Man. Third obviously would be James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, which would be cool. So yeah. I kind of feel like MODOK was kind of shoved into this story. They kept just have it set up over time, and apparently I saw a YouTube video, and even on IMDb as I'm looking at it right now, it's currently a weird thing. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of, originally when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was released, right? The first couple of episodes or the first couple of seasons were originally tied in to the MCU, but then it deviated. So it's not, I guess, semi-not, and there is a MODOK in that TV show, but obviously there's a different MODOK in this show. So yeah, I kind of miss the side characters, like, you know, Kurt and Louise and David. I mean, they meet the Antman. They were my favorite secondary characters in the whole MCU, but Dave, I'm not gonna pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it. But the actor Dave, who appeared in Dark Knight, the new Suicide Squad, Gotham, The Flash, and obviously the Ant-Man films, and in the new Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn had directed, who also were in, the Ant-Man movies, who played Kurt. He played Kurt in the first two movies. He didn't return as the same character in this movie, but he did voice Veb, and then obviously Randall Parks, who played Jimmy Woo Kumsai. He played that character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, aka Ant-Man 2, and also in WandaVision show in Disney Plus. So yeah. But the whole time frame of this, honestly, I think it's really kind of like really confusing, because we were told in Avengers Endgame, and I guess also in the first Ant-Man movie, that time in the quantum realm is different than reality. So I know, like, right when everyone has snapped, right, and you know, Ant-Man was stuck in the quantum realm. Technically in Earth years 5 years, but he was stuck in the quantum realm for 5 hours. So he didn't age much because since he went into the quantum realm, he only aged 5 hours. But obviously that 5 hours was 5 years in here, so he didn't really age that much. It's like the whole time travel movie, or no, not time travel, but the whole spacing, where like in space movies you don't see people aging that much because, you know, time works differently over there than here. But it's a thing where, like, I guess the second movie and this movie doesn't really add up, because if we're saying that they got stuck, if she got stuck over there, if Ant-Man got stuck over there for like 5 years or 5 hours, 5 hours or 5 minutes over there in the quantum realm, and that equate to like 5 years in Earth years, and he didn't age. As she was gone for 30 Earth years, how did she age? I mean, because it should have been like 30 hours, which would have been like a day and a half, or like, you know, 30 minutes or something like that. And it's really confusing. She should have been young and whatnot. It's really confusing. I mean, the fact that they also legit reshot the last ending, changed up the ending for this movie a month before it was released. I kind of felt like it was rushed. Apparently, from what I've heard, was originally Ant-Man was supposed to be stuck in the quantum realm, or he was supposed to die in this movie. That's what I've heard. And it does make sense in certain ways, where he was sacrificed and die fighting Kang and whatnot, which would lead into these younger, newer people in Phase 4 and 5 being the new Avengers. So, yeah. And so here's the thing. I am a big fan of the first Doctor Strange visuals when he's in, you know, those weird space thing, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy's visuals. Like, visually, I think those movies are amazing. Like, yes, like, I'm not a big fan of CGI, heavy CGI and whatnot, but I like the way James Gunn takes this heavy CGI world and makes it more visually pleasing. That's why I do love the Guardians of the Galaxy films. They are visually amazing with the amount of CGI there is. And what I mean by the amount of CGI, like, it looks legit good. Right? He uses the weakness of something, makes it actually really grand and beautiful. And that's what I also love about the first Doctor Strange movie, the grandness of the whole space, imagination, power type thing. Which I do love, and it's different from the grounded reality of Iron Man, the Iron Man trilogy, from the Captain America trilogy, and I honestly think for me, it's so much better than what Joss Whedon had done in the first two Avengers movies. But this, honestly, it just honestly didn't work for me. Maybe it's just me personally, but I just don't personally like it. So yeah, it's a thing where I guess it just doesn't sit well for me, especially where like shows like the like Loki, they do an amazing job with it. So yeah. I just personally, I guess it's a decent movie, and I said it in the spoiler-free review, but the story's not good. And I mean, firstly, there's one thing where the story's not that good, but there's middle, beginning, and a lot of people don't like Batman vs Superman. I personally do. I like the extended cut. Not a lot of people love it. Not a lot of people love Man of Steel. I do. It's just my opinion, including both versions of just the Zack Snyder cut and the Joss Whedon cut. People do tend to say that the Snyder cut is better than the Joss Whedon cut, but they don't like it. But at least with those movies, there was a beginning, middle, and end. And I guess, personally for me, there was at least event going from, like, things that were going from one place to another, and then that event led to another thing. Even the worst movies, like the Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 2 movies, at least there was a beginning, middle, and yes, it felt rushed, but at least there was events that were going from one place to another and another place to another, and at least you understand the world building and whatnot. I mean, not the world building, but the story in itself, it's properly introduced. Just with this movie, I guess they tried to stuff the new Kang villain into it, and this whole multiverse thing, and didn't do a good job with the intro. It legit was a 5-minute intro and went from that to the middle of the movie, which went from legit, like, it's like if I drank this, and right when I drank it, I'm already in, because to me, being 30 years old, like, that's how sloppy it was in terms of the introduction to the film, which it really annoys me. So yeah, because I wanted more character development with this new Casey we have, who is a different Casey than we last saw her, not just in Endgame, but also in the Antman movies. I wanted more character development of her in the Earth world before she got to the quantum realm, to, I guess, give her like more of a character development on the reasoning she was doing it, and more of like her emotions and whatnot. So yeah, not just them saying, "Oh, I just did it because I wanted to." But I am excited for the Jonathan Majors, who played the villain. I feel like did an amazing job. And this is just based on the performance I saw in this movie and in the Loki show that he was, I mean, he was in the Loki show for not too long, but with that performance and this performance and what they were trying to build up to, from what I saw, I think they did an amazing job. And I am hoping to see more of his villain, King, in the season 2 of Loki. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, please stay tuned for more content. Give this a thumbs up, share this video with everyone else. Let me know if you guys are excited for any other upcoming Marvel projects that are coming out, and if you guys are excited for, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and I guess DC content, like the new Flash movie, and yeah. So yeah, take care guys and stay safe.